Welcome back, everyone. Well, as you know, yesterday, Natalie was here for our weekly look at the scene, and as usual, we had so much to cover, but we decided to break this into two parts. So today, that person you saw who was sitting next to Natalie yesterday is our guest today, Joni Sarah White. So welcome.
Thank you.
Nice to have you here.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, you're welcome. Now, Joni is here because early on in the summer, I had mentioned to Natalie I had noticed a particular artist's work. And she said, you have to meet this person. So Joni came in, we started a conversation, and you cannot believe how interesting your background is, and of course, how you've chosen to show your art. You've chosen to express yourself is amazing to us. So let's start with a little bit of background. You grew up north of here, but not actually in any just little town.
Right.
Where did you grow up?
I grew up in Akwesasne, which is Mohawk territory, on the St. Lawrence River.
So you are a Native American
Yes.
Mohawk.
Mohawk.
That's amazing. So you grew up on the reservation, and what was that experience like?
Very strong family, strong tradition.
Yes.
I grew up with my grandfather, who was in his 90s. So, and he was a fisherman, so I had a lot of outdoors, sort of on the river. That was my upbringing there.
Well, you know, any artist will tell you that they don't really, a lot of times even, they're able to pinpoint their influences, that they were influenced by everything. Now, your experience of growing up on a reservation, of course, made you see the world in a certain way. And I can tell you from looking at your work is very organic. And there's a real sense of that flows through everything that I've seen. And again, you're just amazingly talented.
Thank you.
What media do you like to work in?
My favorite is sculpture. I sculpt in stone and bronze and clay.
You paint as well?
I paint as well, yes.
That's right. And create jewelry.
I create jewelry.
Well, being a sculptor, as you know, how are your hands?
They're kind of rough, but they're strong.
Yeah, they're strong. I bet they are. Especially if you're working in bronze, right?
Yes,
It's a difficult
yes.
metal to work in as a sculptor. Now, you're involved with Natalie at Saratoga Trunk because of you have your work shown in her store, in her gallery.
Yes.
But you're also involved with her at Ronald McDonald House. And how is that? What are you doing for that?
I'm actually donating a painting to the event, the fashion show event, to benefit.
Right.
I met Natalie through this event actually 4 years ago.
4 years ago, wow.
So, and it's brought me back to Saratoga year after year, and maybe even considering staying a little more permanent here. So,
Well, you know, Natalie has an amazing eye for talent. So if you cut that level,
Yes.
then you know you're in.
She's just a wonderful person.
Oh my God, no, she's amazing.
Yes.
So at any rate, now you mentioned that there'll be a painting that'll be auctioned off.
Yes.
It's part of a series, I think you told me.
The Saratoga Horse Series.
Yes.
We'll be showing 6 pieces at the auction. One piece will be donated, but whoever wins the auction can choose from one of the 6.
Oh, so they have the opportunity to pick one
Yes.
painting out of the series of 6.
Yes.
Well, that's very unusual, by the way. Let's talk about your jewelry. Obviously, the necklace you're wearing stands out. Give us a story on that.
This is turquoise, semi-precious stones. It's done with wire. I use different metals, very sculptural. I do everything by hand, and basically just start with one piece the same way I approach a sculpture and just I don't plan it out, I kind of just go, let it evolve. I do a lot of asymmetrical things, so.
Well, you know, artists will tell you, regardless of the discipline, musicians operate very much the same way. That before we went on air today, Joni was telling me that, I said, well, how do you jump from doing sculpture to doing jewelry to doing painting? And you just do.
You just do.
Right? There is that creative curse that says to you, put that instrument down and let's go over to that instrument. And before you know it, all your experiences are flowing through the new expression.
Absolutely. I definitely, mine is an artist's life.
Yes.
I work constantly. When I'm in the studio, I will jump from one thing to the other because sometimes I exhaust one area and I need to move on. But definitely from the time I wake up until the time I go to sleep, I'll work for 12-hour stretch.
And probably what you don't realize is you're dreaming it as well. So, you
Yes,
know.
yeah, it's there. It's definitely there.
You mentioned that you have a studio in Saratoga, but you have a studio north of here as well, a cabin right on the water or something, on an island.
Yes, yes. I built a cabin in the St. Lawrence on an island. You can only get there by boat. It was quite an adventure to build this place, but
I bet.
I have that studio there. I also do some work in southern Florida, in Delray Beach. I have a studio there as well.
Well, again, her work is amazing. Now, your artwork is hanging at Javier's.
Javier's, yeah.
Right here in Saratoga, and it's up now,
Yes.
and will be through next week at least to help Natalie with the Ronald McDonald House
Yes.
event as well. And your work will be at the event, and your jewelry will be at the event, and your jewelry is at Saratoga Trunk.
Yes.
You got it surrounded. You really do. Well, I'm a fan of your work. I think it is absolutely stunning.
Thank you.
And good luck. Good luck with the show next week, and we'll see you again.
Great.
Okay, thank you for coming in.
Excellent.
To see this interview again, head to our website, looktvonline.com.